So, all right, good morning, everyone. So today we will be having the report of Aryan and John Michael on the bullying and how to address bullying at work. So go ahead, Aryan and John Michael.
So everyone, good morning to all of you, our fellow interns, and of course to Sir Dominic, our mentor. Together with John, my classmate, as we both are from Universidad de Santa Isabel, who majors in Human Resources Management, him and I will going to report about how to address bullying at work. But first, before we begin our discussion, let us show you a short video first about workplace bullying, hoping you can grasp a little overview about it. So yeah, starting now.
Workplace bullying is any repeated and unreasonable behaviour directed at a worker or group of workers. Okay, wise guy. Well, here's something less obvious. While workplace bullying includes the kind of behaviour we typically associate with bullying.
Good morning, fellow co-worker.
Get out of my face, loser.
Other more subtle forms of unreasonable behaviour, like this. This.
Hey, let's all go out for lunch today, but don't tell you-know-who.
And this.
This job you've given me seems pointless and it isn't part of my job.
Yeah, but what are you going to do about it?
And even though they're being a total jerk, it's kind of a good question. What are you going to do about it? Well, you could start by checking your work's policy on bullying. You might like to talk to someone you trust, maybe a friend.
I had a similar thing happen to me once, and it feels crap.
Or a manager, supervisor, or HR.
Just how awful this must be for you. Now that I know, we can nip this in the bud.
Or maybe even the person who's giving you a hard time.
Excuse me, this is not okay and it has to stop.
Or if all that doesn't work,
I said, get out of my face, loser.
you might like to consider taking it further.
Hello, Inspector? I need to speak to someone about bullying.
Because here's something else that might not be obvious. You never have to tolerate that crap, and you deserve better. Obviously.
Okay, I am certain na most of us is naka-experience na po ng pambubuli, be it ng mga kaibigan, classmates natin, lalong-lalo na nung elementary or high school days natin. Minsan naman, it can occur inside our homes, most especially sa may mga kapatid or pinsan dyan na mas older sa'yo or even mas younger sa'yo kasi wala namang pinipiling edad ang bullying eh. In fact, anyone can be a bully regardless their age. Say for example, you have this older cousin na you find him annoying because he always teases you or he even humiliates you in front of your family members or even in front of your friends. What will you feel? Of course, you'll feel hurt and embarrassed. By that, it can lead to depression, low self-esteem, and other consequences on your part as ikaw yung nabully. But ngayon, as we grow old and we are finally a graduating student, konting-konti na lang rin and we'll face the reality of applying and looking for a job. And basically, we're going to be freshies na sa mga companies sa pagtatrabahuhan natin. The importance of knowing how to address bullying po at our work will help us stand up for ourselves or even speak up and protect others from this mad cruelty, ika nga. So moving on. Let us now define what is bullying at work. Okay. So workplace bullying. Acts or verbal comments that could mentally hurt or isolate a person in the workplace. Sometimes bullying can involve negative physical contact as well. Bullying also usually involves repeated incidents or a pattern of behavior that is intended to intimidate, offend, degrade, or even humiliate a particular person or group of people. It has also been described as the assertion of power through aggression. So it's very self-explanatory. Ano po, in short, workplace bullying is a less favorable action that employees can experience at work. It is simply called then as mistreatment or the abuse or misuse of power to someone. Basically, it usually occurs between employees to employees. Pero minsan naman, kung sino pa yung mas nakakataas sa'yo, say for example, your boss, manager, supervisor, team leader, kasi di pa alam naman natin na our boss is the person who is responsible for our advancement para ma-promote tayo. Ano po? Problem kasi these days, hindi na nakaka-realize mga employees that their boss is bullying them na pala. Instead, mas naniniwala sila na a tough boss pushes its employees to work hard and be more proficient at work, na minsan mali naman na. So yun. Now we proceed to the types of workplace bullying. And this includes, number 1, verbal type. Second is intimidating. Third one is related to work performance. Fourth one is retaliatory. And fifth one is institutional. Sa verbal type po, nakapaloob dito yung making fun or jokes about others, gossiping about him or her, or even humiliating them in front of your coworkers nyo. Also, this includes mockery or mismong harap-harapang pagsalita ng hindi maganda, or it is also called as spoken abuse. Sa intimidating type naman, which is the second type, we have threatening others. Also, excluding someone from team. It is also called as social exclusion. Also, spying others or kaya naman invading someone's personal privacy. Third one is related to work performance. Mga bullying na nakapaloob dito ay, for example, paninisi sa'yo sa maling bagay, sabotaging your work, stealing, or kahit hindi naman kanila, they take credit for your own ideas. Fourth one, on the other hand, is retaliatory. Dito naman is when somebody accuses you of lying kahit hindi naman totoo. O kaya naman, when your boss, for example, refuses your promotion. And finally, the fifth one is institutional type. When the workplace itself tolerates or even encourages bullying to happen or takes place inside the workplace. That's institutional type. So here are signs of workplace bullying po. I already tackled it a while ago. Kaya let's just jump on to that. So itong next coming slides will show how bullying is broadly known as a social issue, or siguro naman it can be considered as a crime. Ano po? It is about the 2021 workplace bullying survey from the United States conducted by the Workplace Bullying Institute. So on the left side of our screen, as we see this pie chart, that illustrates that 23% are those who don't have experience, wala pa silang experience na, or hindi pa sila nakaka-experience ng pangbubuli. 34% are those employees who are unaware na they're being bullied na pala by their coworkers. 13% are the current cases of workplace bullying at the United States. 17% are from the past, 19% are those witnesses, and 4% are the bullies, total percent of the bullies. So while the nasa right part ng screen natin, among the combined populations of the 12 states in the United States, it equivalents to 79.3 million United States workers that are being affected by workplace bullying. With this, some key findings said that the public finally realizes that workplace culture creates toxicity and it enables abuse. Also, key findings said that disrespectful politicians encourages bullying and rule breaking to happen pa. Dito naman, it shows that bullying during remote work happens most in virtual meetings. Seldom lang sa email. Mostly 50% in meetings and 9% naman nangyayari are from emails. Those are the two sources of bullying for remote working in the States. Sa yung nasa taas po, here it shows naman that men are the majority of the bullies compared to female. 67% of them are bullies. Targets nila are mostly their fellow males with 58% and 42% are female targets. They're female targets. While on the other hand, female bullies are only 33%, targeting 65% of their fellow female and slightly targets 35% of their coworkers na male. And finally, yung nasa baba naman pong part, this shows how American people supports on dealing bullying at their work. 61% shows strong support, 29% to support somewhat, 7% are those who somewhat opposed it, and finally we have 3% for those who strongly oppose dealing bullying at work. So next are examples of certain brands who showed support about addressing bullying at their work. First up is Nike Inc. Some may know how Nike has its self-defined equality and empowerment pagdating sa pagprotekta sa kanilang mga employees. So what Nike did here is they dismissed some of their executives as Nike moves to address a workplace culture that is marred by sexual harassment and bullying. Second is the Starbucks Corporation. I believe Starbucks launched a campaign here in this example po, about hashtag Black Lives Matter in the workplace, as they would want to protect its employees na mga Black people or Black Americans from racism na para bang some of their customers or even their co-workers na mga white people or even other nationalities expresses their hatred towards Black people. Kaakibat nitong campaign, they let their employees wear green apron or even buttons, t-shirt, pin badge, and other merchandise as a symbol na parang you can't mess with Black people, na parang we're united as one, parang ally sila ng isa't isa. Ito namang sa Apple Company, kung yung two recent examples are companies supporting and protecting their employees, this third example naman is about speaking or standing up for yourself. Nga. So Janet Parrish po, isa siyang Apple manager na nakabase sa Austin, Texas, United States, together with his co-workers, which is named as Chair Scarlett. They launched a movement as well called hashtag Apple2. Let me just read it. Employees launched the #Apple2 website to allow workers across the company, including Apple Care and retail, to submit stories about workplace harassment and discrimination. Parrish and Chair Scarlett, an Apple software engineer, then began sharing these stories on Medium. Because of this campaign po, Janek Parrish, kung na leader, were fired because of non-compliance daw, as she deleted some apps and files because it contained personal information and for leaking confidential information about the company. The #Apple2 is a movement that aims at improving working condition at the Apple company for those people who suffers discrimination and bullying po. Dito sa tweet na ni Janek Parrish, sinabi niya na there are consequences for speaking out. There are consequences for doing the right thing, but we do the right thing because it is the right thing to do. #Apple2 is about asking Apple to do better to end systematic discrimination, abuse, and pay inequity. Do the right thing. In fact, yung #Apple2 po movement has resulted in largely anonymous testimonies from more than 500 employees working in different 500 global retail stores ng Apple who suffers from racism, sexism, discrimination, bullying, and other forms of harassment. So to discuss why does workplace bullying occur, let me call on Mr. John Michael Ordial.
Good morning, everyone. Why does workplace bullying occur? Bullying can occur for several reasons, but is often the result of a combination of personality factors and work-related stressors, including but not limited to, first is job insecurity. So, ang job insecurity is, for example, nag-excel ka sa iyong work o kaya naman na-promote ka hindi may iwasan magkaroon ng inggit or jealousy sa mga co-workers mo sa'yo. So that's job insecurity. Second is workload. Dito naman is kapag tambak na yung gawain mo sa iyong trabaho, magkukos ito ng pressure at stress sa'yo. That's a workload. Third is role conflict or ambiguity. Ito naman is kapag hindi mo na nagagampanan yung position mo na maayos sa loob ng organization or kumpanya. That is a role conflict. Fourth is cognitive demands of the job. Dito naman is, for example, ang boss mo is marami pinapagawa sa'yo and magkakos ito ng pressure sa'yo. And pwede mangyari, hindi mo na ito magagawa kasi dahil dun sa mga demands na pinapagawa niya. That's it. That's the fourth one. The fifth one is negative emotional states. Dito naman is kapag mayroon kang hindi kasundo, nakatrabaho mo sa loob ng company organization, magkukos ito ng problem sa iyong work at ito ay magkukos rin sa iyong performance sa pagtatrabaho. Last one is aggressive or hostile behaviors. For example, kapag may masamang nasabi sa iyo mga co-workers mo or boss mo, pwede itong mag-cause ng conflict or misunderstanding sa loob ng organization.
So how can workplace bullying affect an individual? Of course, kapag nabully ka, very very normal naman na maging response mo yung mga reactions na nakapaloob dito. First is shock. Of course, magugulat ka. Second one is anger. Magagalit ka sa kung sino man nambubuli sa'yo. Third one is you'll feel frustrated and helpless. Next is it will increase your sense of vulnerability. And next one is mas mababawasan yung confidence mo. Second is yung physical symptoms naman. These are just some of those physical symptoms na feel ng na isang nabully, kumbaga. First one is inability to sleep. And second is, of course, mas mawawalan ka ng ganang kumain kasi feel mo na yung stress from your work. And some psychosomatic symptoms are stomach pains, headaches, you can feel panic attacks or anxiety, especially about your work, and it can also cause family tension and stress kasi kumbaga nadadala mo na yung problem mo from your work, nadadala mo na siya sa family mo, and it can also bring up a family tension. Next is, syempre, inability to concentrate, mas mabawasan yung concentration mo sa paggawa ng trabaho mo. And lastly, it can cause you low morale and low productivity at work.
How can bullying affect the workplace? First is increased absenteeism. Second is increased turnover. Third is increased stress. Fourth is increased cost of employee assistance program, recruitment, or etc. Fifth is increased risk for incidents. Sixth is decreased productivity and motivation. Seventh is decreased morale. Eighth is reduced corporate image and customer confidence. And lastly, poor customer service. How to address bullying at work? First is encourage everyone at workplace to act towards others in a respectful and professional manner. As an employee, you must treat and encourage everyone to treat others equally and respect them as a professional employee. At dahil dito, may iwasan ang bullying sa loob ng trabaho. Second is have a workplace policy in place that includes a reporting system. Inside the organization, dapat meron organized policy para maiwasan ang conflict and problems sa trabaho. Dapat organized ang policy ng company, include dito ang report system ng bawat employee so that malilesen natin ang misunderstandings sa trabaho. Third one is educate everyone that bullying is a serious matter. Dito naman sa number 3, as an employee inside the company, you must know on how bullying affect on the performance of your employee, so that we must educate everyone in the organization that bullying is bad effect of the company, especially to the employees. Fourth one is try to work out solutions before the situation gets serious or out of control. Before tayo maparanoid or magkagulo dahil sa problema, So kailangan na muna natin isipin kung paano masusolusyonan ang problem inside the company. So yun lang. And fifth one is educate everyone about what is considered bullying and whom they can go to for help. Dito na instinto ko dito is dapat ang lahat ng employees ay maging aware sa pagbubullying and dapat alam ng employees kung saan sila hihingi ng tulong if mangyari ito sa kanila. 6 is treat all companies seriously and deal with complaints promptly and confidentially. Dito sa 6, meron customer na complaints, kailangan natin silang i-assist para malaman natin kung anong kailangan nating solution para ma-resolbahan ang kanilang problem. Yun sa number 6. 7 naman is train supervisors and manager in how to deal with complaints and potential situation. Encourage them to address situation promptly, whether or not a formal complaint has been failed. Almost parehas lang naman ito sa number 6. Ang pagkakaiba lang naman is kailangan nating maturuan or masabihan yung mga supervisors and managers on how to deal the customer complaints respectfully and rightly. At kailangan rin natin maintindihin kung ano mang mga hinayin ng mga bawat isang customers. And lastly, have an impartial third party help with the resolution if necessary. Dito naman is if we have a problem sa company, kailangan nating may kakilala to the other company para madali itong maresolusyonan na problem sa loob ng organization. Dito naman sa do not is do not ignore any potential problems. Second is do not delay resolution. Act as soon as possible. Ibig sabihin dito is if meron kang nakikitang possible na problem sa loob ng organization, aksyonan mo agad ito or gawan ng solusyon para maiwasan or di makaapekto sa mga co-workers lalo na sa kumpanya. That's all po.
Hi. To conclude our discussion, let me just read our conclusion. Bullying in the workplace is, of course, an ethical issue in the business, and it should be kailangan masolusyonan. Ika nga. Each individual should recognize its consequence since it has a huge impact on not just the organization, but in the employee. As earlier mentioned, the targets of bullying behavior will suffer from mental hurt if the issue takes place in an organization. So the organization culture is also a component that influences on status quo of workplace bullying. It is crucial for employees to raise their voice, to speak up, to stand up for themselves and for others, recognize signs of bullying para maiwasan pa yung na maka-apekto kung ika nga ito sa atin and sa co-employees mo, co-workers mo. Employers have a legitimate obligation of ensuring the security as well as health of their workers in the working environment, of course.
All right, is that it? Ariane and John Michael, is that the end? Or meron pang kasugtong?
So far, sir, yun lang po.
All right, so thank you, Ariane and John Michael. That's a good research, okay? So thank you for that presentation.